Good morning, YouTube. I'm between Tipp City and Troy. This is apparently one of the historical locks, lock number 14 on the Miami and the Erie Canal. That is the train in the background. This off of the Great Miami River Recreation Trail. And this would have been, I assume, this boat. This might be the General Harrison, maybe in Piqua. But here's a little bit of information about the lock in the canal. I did some videos about the canal stuff, you know, before. I guess remnants of the lock tender's house. And this one, I believe, would have been for, yeah, cargo and passengers. At least that's what it looks like, the picture of this. But we'll get a look at the lock and then we'll be on the way. It's an absolutely beautiful day outside. It's early August, but it feels more like early October than it does August. But it's just an absolutely beautiful day. You could tell just how big these locks were on these things. That's a good 15 feet deep. Some of the best locks are well, they're actually some of my recent videos that I made up in Lockington about 2 months ago. That series of 5 or 6 locks, that little lock park, which is very cool and very interesting. But yeah, definitely a day of history gone by. You know, of course, it started with canals and then railroads became more efficient. Then on came semi-trucks. Semi-trucks are still, well, railroads are still used, but I don't think quite as much as they once were. Obviously not, I don't think. But yeah. We'll get a look further down this canal from near the bottom, right here. This is probably about 15 feet tall. It's not nearly as tall as some of the other ones I've filmed, but for the most part, it still looks in pretty good shape. The earth looks like it's moved it in a little bit on the right-hand side, obviously. Probably the trees and that, but other than that, it looks to be in really good. It looks to be in really good shape, just based on what I could see. It, with the exception of that. Obviously, I'm no structural engineer or anything like that, but it's great that you could, you know, find this, you know, right off the bike path. You know, like this in remnants of Lock Tender's house. I'm going to get a look at that a little bit in this video. Yeah, and it's just right down here, just a short... Oh, shit, sorry.
That's all right.
He was coming around me as I was walking down here. He's picking up some good speed right here, but I think this section right here is there's a little bit of a downhill section. So yeah, there is, because uphill and downhill. So you can pick up some good speed in this. And this is the remnants of lock tender's house. Obviously, sadly, there's not a whole lot to really see here. It'd be nice if there was some pictures of it, but it obviously would have been small. Not that it would have needed to have been big. Of course, people back in those days, they lived much simpler. Of course, before the advent of, heck, I mean, forget even technology, computers. Long before, I don't even think there was a such thing called electricity back in those days, because I don't think that came along till the late 1800s, early 1900s. But that's it for this one from Miami and Erie Canal, lock number 14, and the remnants of the lock tender's house just outside of Troy, Ohio and Tipp City, Ohio.